Hi everyone, welcome to Wisdom for Exploits with me, Bola Amore. It is my pleasure to host these wonderful ladies and gentlemen today on this talk show. Our discussion today is for the benefit of students in year 10 to year 13 in the UK, SS1 to SS3 in Nigeria, grade 8 to grade 12 in US and Canada, and in Australia, year 10 to year 12. These years mark the period when students plan their university studies and consider their upcoming university enrollment. Before my guests introduce themselves, please subscribe to our channel for more educational videos. Thank you. Over to you, my wonderful guests. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm really happy to be here. My name is Aramide Eliogoke. I am a second year going into my final year at the University of Warwick Business School, studying business management. And this summer, I'm currently interning at Goldman Sachs, a summer analyst in the Human Capital Management Department.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm a third year, just finished my third year, going into my fourth year of pharmacy school. I'm studying at Cardiff University. Anything else I have to say?
Cardiff. Okay, we got the Cardiff. Welcome, Rachel. Thank you for joining us this wonderful afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Hello everybody, my name is Andy Farami. I'm a graduate of University of Ilorin, Nigeria. I studied economics education in particular. Currently, I work at Computer College Plus, a company I founded by God's grace. I'm into data analytics. I teach HR analytics and web development. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us this wonderful afternoon, or should I call it evening? Yeah. The topic before us today is my transitioning to university. As I said earlier, we just want to encourage our young adults from year 10 to year 13, because we know that when they get to year 10 or going to year 11, they start using their subject. In UK, they choose their subject from year 9. So once they finish GCSE, then they choose their subject again in A level. I think about some students do 4 subjects and some decide to drop and do 3 subjects. So I want to encourage them this evening about, when they're choosing their subject, what they should know. And that's why we're here today to hear from you guys in university. What's it like for you when you're joining university or when you're in that A level, or they're telling you? Because I remember in our own time when we were in SS1, I did my secondary school back home in Nigeria. And they'll be telling us, so when you get to university, even when the government teacher walk into the class, they'll start telling us some subjects. Say, when you get to university, that's how they start preparing us gradually. And now we're in university, or we try to choose our subject when we get to university. So the first question I'm going to throw out there is, what obstacle might year 10 to 13 students face when choosing their subject? Anyone can answer the question.
I think an obstacle is the pressure of you feeling like you have to have your whole life mapped out, or know what you need to, or know what course you want to do in uni. Because I feel like a lot of people still don't know around that time, and they're very confused, and they feel a lot of stress and a lot of pressure from it. And also the pressure of if your parents want you to do something and you may not want to do that. And I want to advise you to remember that it's you that's going to university, not your parents. Mm-hmm. You should choose what you want to do, because it's you that's going to be sitting those exams. And just remember that God has a plan for you, because just because you may have thought you're going to do something and it doesn't go that way, that's just God putting you in the walk he wants you to go into. Because I personally wanted to do dentistry. I've been wanting to do it since I was really, really young, and it didn't work out that way. I'm now doing pharmacy, and I'm so happy because that's what God had planned for me. So don't feel discouraged, and don't let pressures push you into doing something that you don't want to do, I'd say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How about you, Aramide?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with everything Rachel said. I think she made a very good point about like don't listen to the external people telling you to do a certain subject. I would also say that, like Rachel said, sometimes you really think you want to do a certain job. So you think, in order to do that job, I need to do this degree. In order to do that degree, I need to do these A levels. And that doesn't always work out. So I would say, in terms of choosing your A levels, pick A levels that you actually think you're going to be good at, you know, that you're going to enjoy, you're going to work hard at, because sometimes, you know, if you pick something thinking that that's the career path you want to go down, then it might not necessarily work in your favor. And then with that being said, once you've picked your A levels and you are choosing your degree, you don't need to choose something that, oh, this is going to get me a good job and everything. In this day and age, people are valuing experience, soft skills. Like, you know, a lot more people are going to university. So pick a degree that you're going to be interested in, that you're going to be able to talk about. In interviews, when you're applying for jobs, people will ask you also, what does your degree entail? What's your favorite module you've studied? And you want to be able to talk about it. So I think it's really about enjoying it, do something that challenges you, but don't get too stressed about the future, because no one knows what the future holds. Only God knows what it holds. So all you can do is try your best and live in the moment now.
Thank you very much. Ayomide?
I think one of the obstacles, or should I call it, the first problems or challenges that student might want to face in deciding anything in the university is first the choice of the university they want to go to, right? So a good number of prospective undergraduates usually want to go to the popular university, right? And in the process, some of them waste valuable time, right? So, the first obstacle I will identify is that when it comes to selection of which uni they should go to, they should understand that whichever country they are in. So the first thing is that they shouldn't waste time. It is a trap, kind of. They shouldn't waste time. They should just go for the available university and make do with whatever they lay their hands on. And
So what you're trying to say now is that instead of them waiting to go into a popular university or well-known university or high-rated university, let's put it that way. So you're saying that if they get any offer anywhere, even though it's not a good university, they have a good, lower, whatever, they should just decide and say, okay, I want to go to that university. Is that what you mean?
yes, practically, because sometimes it is not based on what they study in the university.
Okay, so I got your point anyway, because what you're trying to say is that when a student got an offer, let's say, okay, they choose like their first choice, which they do here, because here in UK, you have to do 5, isn't it? You have to choose 5 subjects. 5 university. So you get offer anyway. When the result finally comes out, you get the offer, then you now decide which university do I really want to go to. Yeah, but based on from their own side of the world, which is Africa now, we're talking about Nigeria, because I remember now, those people that said, okay, because once you finish your GCSE, SS3, you go direct, you apply for JAM. So once you do the JAM, you pass. Sometimes you might get to the cutoff mark, sometimes you might not get up to the cutoff mark. And some university will say to you, okay, we cannot offer you what you want to study, we can offer you this course. And this is another obstacle for students, that when the university is imposing on you to study what you don't want to study, how do you tackle that? Because that is not what you desire to do. Now, let's say, for example, I want to study law. And now, because I couldn't get up to the cutoff mark, and then I said, okay, you go and study, what can I even study now? Go and do English. Or go and do creative writing or something. That's not my course. Isn't it? Or what do you guys think? Because and now they impose it because my mates are going to university, I want to rush into university. Does that really make sense? Does it make sense? Okay, well, yeah, because is that what you're trying to say? That people should just pick up the offer they want to go for? Yeah.
Yes, basically. Yes, basically.
Okay. Anyway, let's move to the next question. Thank you so much for that info. How can a student identify their interest earlier to avoid choosing courses blindly?
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to understand that you're not always going to know what you're going to always be interested in. What I would say and what I did is when I was choosing my universities on YouTube, or if you go online, search up lectures from the course you want to study and see what are you actually going to be studying. Because I liked the sound of law, but then when I looked at some of the lectures, I was like, yeah, this could be interesting, but I'm not sure. So, I looked at loads of the lectures and the seminars on the university pages. They show you what modules you're going to study. And I would just say, do as much research as you can before picking a course. It's okay not to know what you're interested in. And there are degrees that are very broad. Like my degree personally, business management, is very broad. I do modules in finance, accounting. I do modules in HR. I'm doing a law module next year. So I get a mix of modules. Some courses are very specific. So you really just have to look at that and really do your research and understand that once you get to university, that's not the end. You can still speak to your lecturers and see what modules you can take from other departments, or within the first few weeks, you can actually switch your course if that's really what you want to do. So I think it's just understanding that whatever decision you make, it doesn't mean that that's it for the rest of your life. You have to stick there. It's just about being flexible, doing your research, and I'm sure that people will come to the right decision. It's not as intimidating as it might seem.
Thank you very much, Amdi. Rachel, do you want to contribute to that?
Yeah, everything she said was correct, and yeah, it will make sense. And in regards of trying to identify your interests, I think what you need to do is, because obviously if you don't want to choose your course blindly, I'd say to make sure that you're choosing something that you like, in a sense that if there's a specific subject that you like in school, you can research around that subject, research courses that will that are linked to that subject, or make sure like Aramide said, go through those lectures on the university website and see what's actually being taught, so that you know what you're going into, and you're not going to go onto a course that you find boring or you're just not enjoying. I think that's the best way to do it.
Thank you very much. So do I still want to say something? Okay, we move on. Thank you very much, you guys. You hit the nail on the head. So what advice can you offer our young adults concerning subject choices? We keep saying these subject choices and their potential future benefits. I think we should skip this one, because you did talk around that it's not about what they enjoy now, but they should just look at the module, isn't it, on the website and and see what they will enjoy doing. Not that something that you're stuck. This is the particular subject today is module this, and next time the lecturer working is still the same thing, and you keep getting. So let's just move on to another question. So many students, including some in sixth form and college, depend on parents, house masters. Some of you are in boarding school, that went to boarding schools, and house mistresses, even for homework. So they depends on their parents, they depends on their house masters and administrators for homework, to push them. Those children you keep pushing, come and do your homework, it's time now, you're going to submit it in school tomorrow. So how can they learn effective time management skills at university? Based on your own experience. So you can give us your own experience when you were coming out of secondary school. Aramide, you're a boarder, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think your A level, you went to boarding school. So I know Rachel, even though Rachel too was a day school, isn't it? But Maybe mommy was pushing you to do your God have mercy. Maybe mommy was pushing. I don't know about your middle. I know anyway, your middle you are a boarder too because you went to uni as a boarder, isn't it? So anyway. So just give us your experience for children like that now, because now I'm coming out of secondary school. I'm used to mommy pestering me, okay, go and do your homework. You don't need to eat dinner until you finish your homework, or your housemaster or master say, okay, it's prep time and all those stuff. Now you're in university, nobody's going to push you. So give me your personal experience.
So in regards to time management, I think first year is really important in the sense that first year is kind of like a trial and error period, because uni is very different from A levels and from GCSEs in the sense that you don't have teachers pushing you, you don't have anyone trying to push you. It's you that has to push yourself, and it's very independent. So it's a thing where like you need to find what works for you, and like even your study, like the way you study things like that, you need to find what works for you. And also, what I'd say is either keep a diary or like use Google Calendar. Make sure that you put all of your assignments into that, just so that you're not missing deadlines, because it's really, really easy to miss deadlines because there's so much being thrown at you as well. So I would advise to do that. And also start your assignments early. Don't leave it to the last minute, because in first year I did do that. Like I was leaving everything to the last minute, and it was even putting stress on myself. Like even revising for exams and stuff, like I was doing it all late, and that's something that I learned from. So in second year and third year now, I need to start things early, start making notes early, start doing all that early, and it makes your life much easier.
Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, I'll go next. So I definitely would echo everything Rachel said. I would say that if you are in year 12 or year 13, and you are able to, I think the best thing you can do is try to get a part-time job. And I know it's very difficult. I applied to McDonald's everywhere, and everyone was like, no, no, no. And it's very difficult. But one thing that really helped me is that I got a job as a GCSE and Key Stage 2 tutor during my A levels. And that, I think, having a job and when you have to earn money really helps you with the time management and the money management as well. So when you have a job, you know that you have certain hours that you need to prepare for. You're not going to be able to do the things you want to do. You have to plan your day around that. And that's very similar to university, planning your day around lectures and seminars, and understanding that there's no one to tell you, you need to log in now, you need to go and eat now, you have to do that yourself. So I would say if you are in year 12 or 13, if you can get a summer job, that's great. But I do know it's very difficult. And in terms of time management, exactly the same as Rachel said, with Google Calendar or a physical diary to write things down. I personally like a to-do list. I write a to-do list every single day, and I put a time next to it. So even small things like wake up, brush your teeth, shower, because then you tick it and it makes you feel good. Okay, I've accomplished something, even though that's nothing. You do that every day. And then it just means that when you've got assignments, you need to break them down. Even if you just spend an hour on an assignment a day, it's better than spending 5 hours the night before. And yes, I definitely understand. In first year, a lot of courses, like my course, your grade in first year doesn't count towards your final grade. So that's a good way to practice what works for you, what doesn't. So in first year, I was trialing different revision methods, different time management strategies. Some were very good, some were not great, but it gives you that flexibility. But even so, it's a learning experience, and you have to accept that, maybe I'm not going to come into university with the best time management skills, but I'm going to work on it. And by December, I'm going to be doing this. And by March, I'm going to be doing this. Set yourself goals. Don't be too hard on yourself. But yeah, it's an adjustment, but it can be done. People have done it. We have done it here. So just believe in yourself in that aspect.
Thank you very much for that contribution. I want to say something, but Ayo should go before I say what I want to say. Yeah, Ayo, go on.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything they've said. Usually, when I was in school then, I often set alarm. Alarm helps me a lot, like my phone alarm. It helps me a lot, or Google Calendar, as you may want to use. And so having a mentor or somebody semester, I have to share my results with somebody that's going to help you to sit up at every time. So those are the things I did when I was in school.
Oh, thank you very much. I remember what Aramide says, I don't live in, and Rachel, you did mention that as well, don't live in to lastminute.com. I did that when I was in uni. And the reason why I did that was that because I was working full time and I'm studying part time. So, coming from work, going to uni, and I always leave my assignment to lastminute.com. So and it's not really good because exam is coming, you start reading there, especially, and then I was studying law. And that time, with law, you have to read a lot. God help you if you're a lazy reader. You understand? So what you're saying is very important. I mean, for somebody that is going to be listening, it's not good to leave something lastminute.com. And I remember when we were doing our dissertation, thank God for all the lecturers, they were telling us, don't leave things till last minute. I mean, your dissertation, don't leave it till lastminute.com. Start doing things, start getting your information, start getting your materials. And it's very, very important because leaving things lastminute.com, it doesn't help. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. You hit the nail on the head. Thank you. So how can you describe your methods for addressing the emotional impact of being away from home and navigating personal growth? Now I've been living with my parents. Now it's university. We're packed. Oh, I'm going to uni. Now you get to uni. It's a ball game entirely different. Actually, Rachel, how did you cope? Because you're one traveling up there.
Yeah.
Cardiff, all the way to.
I know, it's far. I mean, I was very excited to go. Like, I couldn't wait to leave the house. Like, I really, really just wanted, like, my
Narrow escape, innit?
But then when I got there and I was in my room by myself and it was just quiet, I was like, wow, I'm really here by myself. Like, it just sunk in and you low-key feel a bit lonely and you really, really, like, you do miss home a lot. And what I was doing was I was calling my mom and dad every day. I'd FaceTime my sister, my best friend, and I know it's far, but you can just hop on the train. I mean, mine's only about 3 hours on train, so I just go back during the weekend or like on a reading week, or like if I've got a few days off, I'd go back. But it's also important to like also that loneliness or like just living on your own, it's important that you also learn about yourself as well, because you're now becoming an adult. It's a really, really important thing to like become independent, not always having to run home or call mum or dad for every single thing. So it also is good to be far from home as well. Like I would recommend it because you also grow up as well.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously mine was a little bit different because I went to boarding school. So I already practiced the living at home. I'm living away from home, sorry. And I guess I can talk about my boarding school experience because that was my first time moving away from home. And I think the best thing that really helped me was trying to find a good group of friends, like with similar interests. So at university, there are lots of different societies. So I know people talk about the partying and everything. And if you don't want to party, you don't have to do that. I know that there's a big culture, but I personally, I'm a homebody. I like food. I like sitting with my friends, watching movies. I found friends that like to do that. So finding people that are like you so that you kind of almost feel like you're at home when you're at uni. And I think, yes, I did call my mum every day. And in fact, I still call her every day, which is fine. But it's a different reason now. Before I called her because there was no one else to speak to. Now I call her just to tell her everything I've been getting up to. Just instead of writing it down, I just tell her. But I think it's really about finding the people that you like, joining as many societies. If you don't, some people think, oh, I'm not interested in anything. I don't want to dance or do sports. There are Christian societies and they have a very big presence on a lot of campuses. Like find your people that you can really be yourself with and then stick to them. And I think that will really help in terms of like feeling lonely or, living away from home.
Thank you very much. I don't think I feel lonely in my life. Yeah. I don't think so. Anyway, I didn't go to boarding school because Daddy never let me go to boarding school because they really want to see me at home. And now I'm relocating. So 5 years before marriage, I've been by myself. So I really enjoy. I think not everybody like this lonely life, go to church, come back home, happy, watch movie. I like my home company. So some people are like that. They don't like their own company. And some people like to, like yourself, friends, find your own friends, find your own company, and you blend. Sorry, Ayo, go on.
I agree with what they said,
Yeah.
right? And I feel that it's not because we are all social beings, and everywhere we get to, we have to socialize. We have to just adapt to that new environment. So for me, it was easier because anytime I miss anybody at home, I would just like they said, I would just pick up my phone and do a video call with people in the house just to say hello, hello, hi, okay, then that emotion is partially satisfied, right, at that moment. And of course, I'm in a new place. I have to adapt and I have to get new friends. So I usually go to, like, I visit the library very well. And right in the library, I met some people that are like-minded, right? And from there, we grew into friendship, and everything was getting balanced with time. So it's just a phase that undergraduate will have to learn to socialize differently from people they grew up with, right? Because I remember getting to school, you have to meet people from different people with different perspectives, right? So that way, being open-minded is going to really help them, right? Just it was so really helpful for me that I made up my mind to socialize with people differently, and it helped.
Oh, that's good. Socializing is good. It's not that it's not good, but yeah, if I'm outside, I socialize. Like me, if I go out, I socialize. Even somebody I don't know, I talk. And I used to say that most of my friends is either we met on the train or on the bus. You understand? So it's good to socialize because it helps your mental health as well. And you talk to people, and you guys have said it well. But what about, I wish a older generation are here. Maybe some aunties older than me, because you guys are younger generation. What about the time there is no social media, you do FaceTime? It's letters, isn't it? I remember one of my sister, a sister from another mommy. Let me put it that way. And the mommy used to tell us that, oh, when she writes letter, when she was in uni, actually she went to poly. I'm talking about back home now. She went to poly, and anytime she wants to say something she wants to write, the mommy said I have to go and eat, because when she write the letter, the whole foolscap sheet up and down is full, and they post. So those days is like we post letter, we send, some people said in those old days is the telegram, they call it, and all those stuff. But now, thank God for this social media age, isn't it? You do FaceTime, and I'm here, wherever you are in the world. Praise God for that. Hallelujah. What new habits did you adopt or drop when you started university? Show growth and adaptability. So what are the habits, new habits you adopt or dropped when you started university? Because there are some habits we have when we're growing up in primary school, secondary school, in your secondary school time, there are some habits you have, but now you're an adult, you're 18, they call you adults. Sorry, guys, I know you don't want to hear this. I used to tell my home, you're still a baby, they are adults, but still call them, you're still growing, isn't it? They say you're 18, you're adult. Yes, I'm not disputing that. In our own time, we're growing, praise God, So what are the adults? What are the things, the new habits? Because there are some habits we have when we're in school. Either you're a boarder or you're a day school, there are some habits we have, and there are some habits whereby we drop and some habits we pick because we're learning. When you get to uni, you learn some things from people. You can say, oh, this thing is good, I can cultivate it, or this one is not good. So for your own experience, what are the habits you adopted or the one you dropped?
I'd say, does anyone go first or should I go?
Anyone can go first, don't worry.
A really important habit that I adopted, I'd say, is budgeting. Because over the summer I worked, I actually saved quite a bit of money. And when I went to uni, all the money was gone within the first few months. And I feel like that is the case with a lot of freshers as well, because a lot of people I've spoken to, they'll have money and the money is just gone. And I wasn't someone that would buy alcohol or anything like that, but I still was spending money. So I don't know where the money was going to. So it's a thing where you need to learn to budget. You need to learn to not just spend money how you see it. Especially people, I guess, student finance. That's not your money. You need to learn.
We're coming to that though.
Because people will now see big money in their account and then be buying this and buying this, buying that. It doesn't profit you in the long run. Sorry, my light's turned off. Yeah, so what I did was I gave myself a spending cap every week. I said that I'll spend £50 every week. And that would also help me like choose what to buy and choose what not to buy. Like I'll be looking at it like, do I really need this? Because I only have this much money to spend this week, if that makes sense. So that's definitely an important habit that you need to build is budgeting, I would definitely say.
Thank you for that contribution.
Yeah, if I'll go next, I would say the exact same thing. I was literally going to say budgeting, but to go further, I would say being intentional about all your decisions. I think being an adult is having all your decisions have consequences. So whether that's financial, whether you buy a pot of ice cream that's £5 and then you're like, oh, I wish I didn't spend that £5 because now I need money for a train ticket. It's about being intentional, whether that's your calendar and saying, oh, you could scroll on TikTok all day and not go to any lectures. No one's going to tell you off for that. But then you'll be behind and you'll be asking for people, oh, what did they discuss? What did they discuss? Can you send me your notes? And you'll never get the notes. The best way to do it is by being present. So it's like everything you do, think about why you're there, what you're doing, and be very intentional about it. So with regards to like money and stuff, I think for me the best thing was I did similar with the spending cap, but I actually had opened another bank account and I would literally only send myself the amount of money I wanted to spend. So once it was finished, it was finished. And I think it's what we said in the last question about being comfortable on yourself. Like you need to learn to enjoy your own company because it's not every activity, every motive that you have to go to. Sometimes I would say, I'd try my best to be social, but sometimes I would say, actually, I'm going to sit this one out. Why? Because I wanted to save money. Because I knew that it wasn't in my, I wasn't part of my intention. Second of all, sometimes I would say no because I wanted to study. I really wanted to finish the essay 2 days before it was due and not the morning of the deadline. So I think it's really just being true to yourself, being intentional and like sticking to the promises that you make yourself. And I think that's like a really important habit for the rest of your life because, you'll always be invited to things. You'll always have decisions to make. So you always have to be intentional with those decisions.
Thank you very much. Money management. That's why you're studying business management. That's cool. That's very cool. All right, Ayomide, what do we have for you? I mean, what do you have for us? Sorry.
Yeah, as a guy, the first habit I dropped then was keeping my video games at home.
That's
right?
cool.
It was so difficult, right? It was so difficult, right? I had to uninstall some games on my phone and drop the video games at home, right? I know it wasn't so really easy, but I had to do it because I know that I have to be in control of my time, right? And that helped me. I think that's just the primary thing I did, right? Because that guy was actually stealing my time. So another bit I think I dropped was going to bed late, right? So I tried as much as possible to go to bed on time. And then especially when it's not exam period, right? So I don't want to read overnight or something. So I go to bed at the right time so I can get to class at the right time. And those are the habits I think I dropped. But if there is any new habit I picked up is, like I've mentioned earlier, is going to the library regularly, right? Why I start to always go to the library, and that helped a lot. I was able to meet some persons who are already ahead of me in what I'm studying. So as a result, they were able to give me some expose.
So they were able to tell you things. Yeah, that's fine. That's really good. I think you mentioned something which I just want to buttress on. Sleeping is another attitude truly for students. And Because if you don't sleep well, it's very, very difficult to really assimilate when you're in class. And this is a major habit that people really need to drop. And I know it's very common. Sometimes, like we said, when we're on holiday, we want to watch this movie, we want to do this, and they say, oh, I'm on my holiday. At the moment, I don't mind, I'm on holiday now, in school, they don't allow us to do this. I'm at home now, I want to watch things and sleeping late, and now start adjusting when it's one day to go back to school. So I think sleeping is very important for young adults planning to transit into university. You need to adjust your sleeping habits. I know some people, they don't sleep as well, they party in university, yes, and they come back and do stuff. Okay, did you find college and sixth form more or less stressful academically than university? The reason why this question is coming is that, with A level, when you're doing A level, for we in the UK that do A level, I say we, I didn't do A level, but for you guys at the A level, because we are adult. I mean, when we got admitted to university, they said adults. You say once you're 21, they call you adults. So you guys are coming from A level, isn't it? So, looking at me. So now, what's the question? Is it more stress? Because I've seen A-level students, and because you have to choose 3 or 4 subjects. I don't know how many subjects you guys did before. Some of you did 4, some of you did 3. And you have to focus. It's just one-way traffic, isn't it? You can't navigate. It's just one-way traffic. So you focus on that one. So is it more stressful or less academically stressful when you get to university? Anyone can go for
I'm
it.
happy to go.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I think first of all, it really depends on the degree you choose. Personally, I would say my degree is less academically stressful than A levels. So I did 3 A levels. I did maths, English literature, and French. And first of all, doing 3 such different subjects had its challenges, because there were completely different revision methods for all of them. And what would work for maths would not work for French. What would work for English, it was really difficult navigating that. But yeah, it was just very intense. I think A levels also carry the pressure of going to university, so I think it's always going to be quite intense. Whereas with the degree, because a lot of it is self-taught for my course, I don't have as many contact hours as some people. Like from A levels, you go from having many contact hours a day, and then at university, it's very different. I think it's a different type of hard, because you have to navigate that yourself. You have to decide, I'm going to study this. No one's telling you to study it. Often you don't have as many tests as A levels, so you won't even need to revise the module until the end of the term. And that's why it's very easy to leave it to the end, because no one's telling you, oh, there's a test tomorrow, you need to know all of this. So I think for me, A levels are more stressful, but I think university is more responsibility. Otherwise it becomes, and if you don't manage that, it will become very stressful, because then you have so much in such a short space of time. But I think, yeah, it really depends on your degree, because I know some of my friends who do like STEM degrees, maths and physics, it's very stressful for them. So yeah, I think it really depends.
Thank you very much. Rachel?
Yeah, so I agree with her. I think it depends on the degree you do, because I do pharmacy, and back in A levels I did biology, chemistry, and maths. So I only did 3 subjects, and at the time it felt like it was like so difficult, so intense, like it was just a lot. But the jump between A levels and uni is really, really big. And with my course, I'm in school a lot. There's a lot of exams. The content is very, very heavy, and like academically it's much more challenging. Also because during A levels, like it was more structured. You'd have your teachers to guide you. There were past papers, all of that. In uni, it's like everything is on you. It's very independent, and it's a thing where sometimes I'll spend nights in the library because there's so much content that I need to shove into my head. Like it's really intense. And it's a thing where like even in lectures and stuff, a lot of lecturers aren't teachers, like they can't teach you well. Like they will just read off the slides. So I now have to spend time going over the slides again, trying to find some slides. And even those things in the slides, there's still more that could be tested on. Like you have to go to the library, find books, start reading. I kind of like it's a lot. So for me personally, I'd say uni was more academically stressful than A levels, even though A levels did feel like a lot at the time.
Thank you very much. Yamide, over to you.
Well, for me, I think life in the university is more stressful, right? Maybe it's because my own school, right? Because naturally, I feel that with age, we have more responsibilities to take. And that's also from classes to classes. And the way curriculum are built sometimes, one of the things they want to check is they want to confirm if this person has the capacity to learn this thing, right? So to me, I feel it's to me, I feel it's more stressful, right? But at the same time, it also depends on time management kind of thing. So if it's somebody who already knows how to manage what is right on the table at the particular period of time, the person can then say that it isn't kind of stressful, right? So life in the university, it comes with more responsibilities. It comes with more responsibility as you have to, as students, we have to make so many decisions on their own and meet certain needs that they couldn't have met ordinarily, like maybe taking a part-time job or something, right? So that's plus together and adulthood, becoming an adult, so it can make that stage of life to seem more stressful.
Thank you very much for the contribution. That's very true because I think I will say as well, it might depends on individual. You need some students, they find uni a little bit less stressful than A level. Because as you said, Richard, there are some subjects whereby the content is so heavy and you have to cover everything. Even you know what normally pains me most? Even though the content is so heavy and it's not everything that is going to come out in the exam, but you still have you still have to study this. So that's the most important. But with uni, I think you study this module and you can study, at least you can still navigate and say, okay, this thing is going to come out. But with A level, as I said, I didn't do A level, but I can see the content because actually I have a daughter that went to A level. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you, you guys. You did well. So now we're going into the government funding. Which most beneficial government funding, which we call student loans or student finance? Some people call it student loan, student finance, or apprenticeship, or vice versa. Why and why not?
I can go first.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So I think it's a very difficult decision. I think especially now where there's more information about apprenticeships. I think in the past, maybe even just 5 years ago, a lot of people didn't even know that apprenticeships existed. So the default was uni or uni. Like, there weren't really that many options. So I think my take on it is, if you have an idea of what you want to do, you know, maybe, I would like to work at this company, or I'd like to try this. I think an apprenticeship is a really, really good option because you are working, you're studying, and you're making money as you're doing it.
Sure.
And I think that there's nothing, it's a very good option because you get the all three. A lot of degree apprenticeships, you will be attached to a university, so you'll still be going to lectures and doing some of those kind of things. But it's important to realize that I think the way I've always thought of it is that I have the rest of my life to work. So I was like, I would love to go to university, trial out lots of different careers through internships, through work experience programs, spring weeks, things like that. And then when after university, then I would like to go into full-time work. But obviously, student finance is a big issue for a lot of people. it really, it depends on your household income, and it makes a huge determining factor. So if you can do like what Rachel did, or what I did a little bit, and work in the summer to save money for university, or even get a part-time job whilst at university, I would recommend tutoring, because you can do that from anywhere. You can do it from your laptop in your room. You can choose your own hours, and it's just a nice way to earn some money to help you fund your studies. But I think it really depends on what you're interested in. If you know that I want to go and work as an accountant, why not do an accounting apprenticeship? If you're a bit unsure and you think I want to study, then, try different things, join some societies, then I think university is for you. But I think, if you're really unsure, sometimes it's better to actually take a year and actually think about it before you go and amass lots of student debt. And I know that sometimes some parents are like, no, go straight to university, go straight to an apprenticeship. But it's about that conversation and being like, I actually don't know what I want to do, and I don't want to go and start amassing student debt if maybe an apprenticeship is better for me. So I think don't think you have to rush into the decision. I think, really do think about it, but it's very subjective and personal.
Thank you very much. That's really good. Anyone?
Yeah. I really agree with that, because I know someone that her parents really wanted her to be in the healthcare field, and with her grades, she got into radiography. She went for a year and she really did not like it, and she finally just told him, like, you know what, I know what I want to do. I want to go and do this. So she now moves on to a different course, but she's now wasted that year. I mean, you could have taken a gap year and then saved money and stuff, but I know you don't feel like you're paying for uni because it's student finance that's paying for you. But at the end of the day, you are spending nine plus K every year. So that's 9K that's just been thrown away. So it's very important that, I think, like she said, you need to, like, if you need to take that time out and find out what you really want to do. And I know that there is a lot of talk around university being a scam because you come up with so much debt and stuff like that. I guess it just depends on you as well. Because, I mean, there are some courses that you'll now do and you'll now graduate and you won't even use it. So I think you need to research on your course, research what you can do with that course, the pay for the job as well. All of that is all very, very important. So I think definitely research, and like because like on the course I'm doing pharmacy, I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't think there are any apprenticeships out there. So obviously if you have to go to university, then go to university. So just really research. That's what I'd say. Research your course and decide which path you want to go down.
Thank you very much. That's really good. Yeah, Ayomide, is there anything you want to contribute? Sorry.
Yes. Basically, I will add that I feel that this, right, it's dependent on household income. It's also dependent on the interests of the students. It's also depend on the on the passion of the students, right? So students usually know what they want to do or the areas which they have the strength. So
Anyway, you guys you've really spot it on. Trust me, you nail it. And I just want to add this with apprenticeship, because some people, like you said, I'm not going to if I go through apprenticeship, I know I'm not owing the government no dime. I'm debt free and I'm happy. I'm coming out to university, graduate, no penny. I'm not owing anybody nothing, which is very, very good. Very, very good. But what about people that don't have that stamina, even though they have their course or the course they want to study is there out there, they can get a job, the employer can sponsor them to go through their apprenticeship. What about if they don't have that stamina? It's so stressful because not so many people can juggle things together. So what do you advise such person?
I think sometimes you don't know until you try. it's very difficult. I think that's the main reason I didn't do an apprenticeship, is that I was like, I don't know what I want to do, and how do I know that I want to do it so much that I want to, you know, start working 9 to 5 every day and study and all of that. I think I think everyone can handle it. I think, you know, everyone, even no matter what job you're in, there are going to be times where you have to balance lots of things. Even at university, you have to balance lots of different projects, lots of different coursework with exams. You're never in your life, you're never just doing one thing. Because if we did, everything would be so much easier. If we're just doing one thing at a time. You're always going to be balancing lots of different things. So whether that is in an apprenticeship or a university degree, they're going to have the same aspect. I think it's more about, rather than thinking, oh, I can't handle it, I think everyone has the facility to handle it. It's more, do I want to? And because I think if you know, get to an apprenticeship and you really want to do it, you'll find a way to make it work, even if it's stressful. And it's the same with a degree. So I think it's just really deciding, you know, what your interests are, and you know, you're always going to go through difficult periods, and that's why you turn to prayer and you do things to help you get through it. But nothing is ever easy. Nothing worth having is ever easy. So even at university, there are times where I've got lots of deadlines in the same week, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And, you know, there's no one to do it for me. It's just me. So, you know, I think no matter what you choose, just, you know, feel confident in your decision, and hopefully you won't have to like drop out of university or switch your course, because again, like Rachel said, that will be quite expensive. But you know, there is always an option, and there are always ways you can, you know, try and work around things.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You guys nailed it on the head. You did answer it. Was well, anyone from year 10 to year 13 listening to this, I mean, with what you guys have said, I believe they'll be able to reflect and say, you know what, I think everybody can do it. If somebody else can do it, I can do it. It was trying. There's no harm in trying things, you know. It's because sometimes we're lazy and we think so difficult. And I think the kind of people you surround yourself with matters a lot as well. Because if you surround yourself with negative people, everything you're going to get is going to be negative. But if you surround yourself with positive people, they say, oh, I did it. And you know what? It's not a big deal. Even though it was very hard, but they will tell you, I did it. And they're pushing you to do it. And you can do it. Thank you so much, guys. So we're moving on to our question. What was the biggest surprise and your experience at university, academically and socially? You know, I got into university, boom. So what was your biggest surprise, your experience academically or socially?
I'd say mine was living with people. Not everyone has the same home training as you. In first year, I was living with 7 other people.
Wow.
And they were all, every single one of them, they were all so dirty. Like, I couldn't use my kitchen. It was really, really, really bad. Like, there were times when I would just choose not to eat because the kitchen was so bad. So just be wary of that as well. And I think if you're someone like me that's very clean, I'd say opt for a studio, because sharing can be quite, I mean, I don't know, it just depends. But yeah, so that was one of the big challenges for me. It was sharing with people, and also having people in your space as well, because you're now living with people that you don't know. And with me, it was seven other people as well. And everyone is different as well. Like, people, they like to party or drink or play noise. I'm not like that. Like, I'll just stay in my room. So just be mindful of that as well.
Okay. But when you were choosing, you know, when you're going to uni, yeah, because with my daughter, she was telling me, saying, Mommy, please, I want a quiet place. So when we were choosing, we went online, we check all the accommodation, you know, and I made sure that she said, Mommy, I want the one that is quiet. Yes, I don't want girls only, boys only. I want the mixed one, because some people, they say, oh, they want girls only. And at the end of the day, you end up meeting with other people that are not really nice, or boys only, you know. I don't want to say something on social media. You understand what I'm talking about? So then she said the quiet place, and I actually I thank God that we did, because we did a lot of research. look at the building and all that. So did you not go through those?
Um, well, for me, because it was first year, and like they always give you the university accommodations, so
Yeah.
a list to pick from. And I think I didn't get my top choice because my top choice was a different one, and that one was quite quiet. My second choice, I mean, it didn't look like, I mean, it didn't look bad, but I guess you never know what you're going into, anyways. You never know
It's
who you're
true.
going to live with. So yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. Is anyone want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I got my fifth choice accommodation out of six choices. So I was very disappointed. I had to share a bathroom and I had to share a kitchen with 10 other people. So I think, you know what? I actually wouldn't have, if I could go back, I wouldn't have opted for a studio because I made a lot of amazing friends and I learnt how to get people into shape. And that was one thing about how to, and you know, in the workplace, it's actually a very good skill how to tell people to do something without sounding rude and bossy. So, like, you know, it was like, oh, hi guys, I'm thinking of making a kitchen rota. What do we think? So every week, a different person will take the bin out. Otherwise, the bin will stay there forever. And I think that really helped. And I think one thing I wasn't expecting was I've always found it really easy to make friends. But I think in first year, because I met so many people that were like to go out and club and everything, and that wasn't really my interest, I was a bit like, oh my gosh, I don't, who should I be friends with, you know? And it took me a good few months until to actually get a good group of friends. And in those first few months, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, am I doing something wrong? Like, is it me? Like, you know, I'd never had that problem before. So I think that's something, you know, to be prepared for. And it goes back to the question of like loneliness that, you know, I learned to really enjoy my own company. I would take myself to the cinema. I would, you know, do things myself. I go to the University of Warwick, and Birmingham's not too far away. So I'd go shopping, take myself on a shopping day. And I think, you know, you shouldn't always wait for someone to have someone to do something with. Sometimes you have to do things by yourself. And even now I have a great group of friends, but sometimes I actually prefer to do things myself so I can just in out or take my time. So I think, yeah, that's something I wasn't prepared for. But I do think that everything is a learning experience. So last year I had to share with that many people and deal with dirtiness and messiness, because now I have my own room, my own bathroom, and it's my sanctuary. And whenever I think, oh, I can't bother to clean it today, I just think to last year, and I'm like, no, let me tidy up, you know. So, you know, I think everything, you know, is a learning experience. So even if you get to university and you're surprised or you're really unexpected, something is very unexpected, I think you will take that in your stride and you'll find a way to adapt. And, you know, hopefully everything will be fine.
Wow, thank you very much. And no, it's because I think the reason why you guys experienced that, one of the things I know is that we know we're all from different background. You know, some people, they do things for them. And your background is like, maybe you have to clean your room. Is your mommy going to come and clean your room for you? You have to clean, you have to do things. You understand? So I think it's background. From the men aspect, what do you have to say? Yeah, I am from the men aspect. What do you have to say? Because you went to uni as well. They share stuff as well.
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
I opportunity to actually a space for myself. So one experience is totally different.
Oh, you weren't sharing.
I wasn't sharing.
Okay, so you didn't share when you were in campus. Oh, okay.
Yes. But
Your internet.
one thing that I know that I found very strange in school then was the fact that if you are the fact that it's a brilliant student, if you're a brilliant student, you still have to read, right? Because I have this mindset that I was good in my secondary school over here in Nigeria. You know, I was one of the best students. They wanted to give me one particular course. I had to tell them that this is what I want to study and all. So with that mindset, when I go to school, I was thinking the way I got A back in secondary school is the way I'm going to be getting A in the uni, right? Then I realized that you have to still study, even though you are brilliant, even though you are smart, you still have to pay that price of studying. You still have to work very hard. So that reality gets down on me in my first year. Then I learned and I quickly adjusted to the new environment and started reading hard.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Did you ever feel like giving up? What helped you push through those moments? I did a course, counseling. And I remember when we started this particular course in uni, we were 26 students that started the course, and only 4 of us graduated. Yeah. And you know what, like you said earlier on, that when you're thinking of taking the government fund, you're going to pay back. Some of these people that drop off the course or drop out the course, they were on student loan and they have to pay back. So 26 candidates, only 4 of us graduated. That's my experience. What's your experience? Because they couldn't push through. It actually got to a stage where it was really tough. People think that I can't finish this, so this is too hard. And 4 of us pushed through. So your experience, what helped you?
There are many times that I felt like I wanted to give up. Many times because it's quite overwhelming. There's a lot of pressure. But I feel that there are quite a few things that do get me through it. One thing I definitely say is God. Like, you can't do anything without God. I commit everything I do into the hands of God. Even on my notice board above my desk, I have Bible verses, a lot of motivational quotes as well. So when I'm feeling down, I'll read them, just remind myself that God has a purpose for me and that God wouldn't have allowed me to start something that I can't finish. And also my parents as well. I know because my dad is really, really helpful. Like, he would always call me to check up on me. Like, whenever like I'm feeling down or like whenever I feel like giving up, he will always give me good advice, and he will always help out wherever he can. Like if I have like, let's say an essay, he will help me read through it and like just give me points on how to make it better, things like that. And also, there are quite a few things that that stop me from giving up. Also, the whole money aspect they mentioned as well, because it's a thing where I've already done 3 years. I've spent so much money. Why would I drop out now and I'll have no job and I'm now having to pay back that debt? Like, it doesn't make sense. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Is that Aramide?
So I want to share something from before getting to university, because I think for year 11s and year 12s, it's a very year 11, 12 and 13 is a very like intimidating thing, the process of applying to university. And I got into my what I thought was my dream university, and then when it came to results day, I didn't get the results that I anticipated, and that dream university, I saw it vanish before my eyes.
Oh,
that was a very big setback, and it was very difficult. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go to university then if it's not the one I planned. And I think it's very difficult because you have an idea. Everyone, even if you don't, I like to make a plan for what the next year, what the next 5 years of my life looks like, what I want it to look like. But, it's very difficult when that plan doesn't go to, what you're expecting. And I think that, again, like Rachel said, it's like really trusting that like there is a plan for you, like God has laid out a path for you, and everything does happen for a reason. So now I couldn't imagine not being at Warwick. I've made the most amazing friends. I love my degree, I love my course, and all the opportunities that I've had so far. I can't imagine would I have had the same opportunities if I had gone to another university. So I think when it gets hard and when you have those moments where you're like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can continue, you just have to think, you know what, I'm just going to push through. Like, life is about, if anyone studies economics, peaks and troughs, up and down. So it's not, if it's fun 100% of the time, then you'll never know what fun actually feels like. Like sometimes you have to have the bad things so you can experience the good. So I think it's really just about, understanding that this is going to be a short period of difficulty, but it's going to pass and you're going to be better off for it. And then you have a story of you, really showing resilience and building yourself up. And that's what makes people great in life, I think.
Thank you. We all have stories, isn't it? I just mentioned my own now.
Yeah.
How can 26 people enroll for a course and only 4 graduated in a course? Even I was just like, no, people like to waste money, But it's not their fault because we don't know. Sometimes family challenges, especially when you are adults. And I used to say to some people, not everybody have that capacity, especially when you are now married, because it's good to finish all your education. It doesn't work for other people. Like people that go through medicine, you call it medicine. We call it medicine in Nigeria, but you call it medicine. Because my daughter, she say, "Mommy, it's medicine." So medicine. So like people that saw medicine and they want to continue with their career, they still have to study. And even sometimes some people get married, because when you have family, the majority of these people, they have families, they have children. And so pushing through, sometimes it could be a challenge. And God help somebody. I don't know what happened to them, but God help. I know some of them are married people and they couldn't push through. You understand? And God help somebody that they have kids. You have to go. So it's not everybody that have that capacity to do. That was why I brought this question, that when we're discouraged, you want to give up, what normally help us to push through. Okay, I think our guest from Nigeria has left us. All right, I'm just going to go ahead because I don't want to keep you guys waiting. So how did you manage both independence and responsibility while living away from home? Anyway, we're getting there. Just a few more questions, we're done.
So for me, I think I've always been a very independent person, so I was quite lucky. I did lots of activities when I was at school and even at boarding school. I lived away from home and everything. So for me, independence really comes from knowing what you want to do and sticking to that. So it's not getting skewed by other people. So just because everyone else wants to do this doesn't mean you also have to do it. If I've made my plan, my to-do list for the day, I'm sticking to that because that's what I really want to do. Unless I really, unless that's something that helped me or, something like that. So I think independence is really about setting your goals and then setting smaller goals to achieve those goals. Because then no matter what is happening outside, you're still focusing on yourself and you're still making that path and that journey. And I think that's the most important thing. Google Calendar, like my friends know, even if they want to go out, like go to get lunch or something, it has to go on my calendar. You have to send me a calendar invite. And I'm very strict on that. And my friends at first, they thought it was funny, but then they're like, wait, how do you do this? And how do you do that? And it's because I'm very methodical and I time block everything. So I think, that's the best way to really build that independence, is just setting your goals and then sticking to them. And then, every time you achieve a goal, set a new goal. Like you should always be aiming for more, if that makes sense.
That's good. Thank you very much. What about Rachel?
Yeah, just like Ramade, I've always been very independent. Even throughout GCs and A levels, no one's ever had to tell me, "Oh, go and study, go and do this, go and do that." I think so. Going into university, it wasn't too hard, but it's like the responsibility aspect. Like everything is now on you. Like when I'm living at home, it's my mom that will do the shopping and all the chores are now divided amongst everybody. But now that I'm living by myself, I have to fill my fridge. I have to do the laundry. I have to do everything. So it's trying to also know how to manage like my time in like going to university and then also doing a job as well. And then also like having time to socialize and make friends, but also having to look after my house as well. And I don't know, it's a lot to try and balance it all. So that's where time management and also Google Calendar as well, and making a to-do list, like knowing that, okay, today I want to achieve all of this and trying to stick to that. That's what I'd say.
Thank you very much. Okay, this question is a bit nice. I would say it's nice. What's your top tip for a young adult who sees university as a waste of time? It's not my cup of tea. I don't want to go to uni. I'm done with secondary school. I want to move on with my life. What do you think?
I think in terms of that, you need to ask them why and ask them like if they have another plan then. Because obviously university isn't your only way to be successful in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like, if someone tell me that they don't want to go to uni, I'd be like, okay, but what's your plan? Give me a 5-year plan. Like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? Like, do you want to like move into like independent business or be self-employed or things like that? Like, don't just like, if it's a thing where you don't want to do it because you're lazy, that's different, because it's like you can't make anything of your life. But if you know that you can still make it without university, then it isn't a bad thing to not want to go to university, I'd say.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Abaramide, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. University isn't the be all or end all. I think that there are lots of other ways to to make it in life. However, there are a lot of statistics to say that, especially if you come from a socially lower socioeconomic background, university can sometimes be the best way to enhance your social mobility because of the connections that you can make, the experiences that you'll get. So depending on where you go to university, sometimes you will get opportunities just because someone else has talked about it and you've heard it. So then you'll go and apply for it. So things like internships, that's a really fantastic way to secure a grad job. A lot of internships, once you get them, they will give you a return offer. So without even doing anything, you'll enter your final year with a graduate job waiting for you, ready. I think that's fantastic. Whether you take it or not, that's a fantastic route into work. I do think it's important to understand, what do you want from your life? Because like Rachel said, if you want to be self-employed, if you want to be a business owner, you don't necessarily need to study a degree to do that. However, even so, I study a business management degree. A lot of the things I learn are to make you a successful entrepreneur or to make you a successful employee. So, there are lots of different things you can study. And I do think that university provides you with a little bit of security, knowing that, companies do still like people with degrees. It's not, even if your degree is not as, people say, oh, what are you going to do with a history degree? Actually, a lot of my colleagues studied history at university. So it's really about the skills you learn. I would say the best thing from university is other societies. I really like dance. At university, I can go to dance classes for £2 each, which I can't do if I'm, at home or anything. In London, classes are like £25 per class. I know you're paying a lot more for university, so maybe it's probably cheaper if you just go to the London classes. But I've got to meet so many people, learn about who I am as a person, learn about what I want from my future, try different careers, hear from different industry experts, rather than just, oh, I don't know what I want to do, I'm just going to go into this. So I don't think it's a waste of money. I don't think it's a waste of time. I just think it depends on what your goals are and what you want from your life. And then that's how you can decide what's best.
Thank you very much. Ayomide, are you still there? We want to hear from your own side. Okay, my final question. Yeah, I know you covered the ground, but I want to put this question out there. I am afraid of student loan debts. I am uncertain about securing a post-graduation job that will pay my debt. Please advise.
What I'll say is that currently you pay 9% of your income when you start earning, I think it's currently 25,000 and something. Please, I don't know if that's the correct.
Yeah, you're right. I think 25. Once you start earning 25,000 per annum, it's in the year. Yeah, I think you are right. I don't know if they changed it recently, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's around that figure, and it's 9%. And yes, and that's not going to change. If they change it, it will be for people future university. It takes time to change these kind of things. So the way I've looked at it is that it's an additional tax, as opposed to a loan that is going to impact your credit score, because debt is bad. We know that debt is bad because it impacts your credit score, it impacts your ability to buy like a house or a car or things like that. But it doesn't impact those things, the student loan. It's just like an added tax that you're going to have to pay back of your salary each year. And when you look at the statistics, that university graduates are more likely to have higher earnings, like, 5-10 years after graduation, than those without degrees. I think it's a worthwhile tax, if that makes sense. So I don't think it's something to be worried about. There is not a pressure to pay it all back. It does accrue interest, that's a bit intimidating when you log in and see that it accrues interest from the day you actually start university. It doesn't even wait until you've graduated, which I think is a little bit crazy. But, it's not a rush to pay the whole thing back. And luckily for us, they've extended it to 40 years. So you'll be paying that 9% for 40 years. But, I think the earning potential outweighs the negatives of the loan. So it really depends on, what you want to do. If you are very lucky and fortunate to be in a position where you don't need to take the loan, then obviously that would be more ideal. But I think for most people, the loan is the best way, because, it's a lot of money to have in pocket, in cash, when you can just pay it back in small amounts. So I don't think it's something to be worried about. I think it's good to be conscious. It's good to be financially aware. But I think it's especially in the UK, the student loans are actually quite a good system, and it's quite manageable to pay it back, because 9% is not that much, and it's 9% of your income above the threshold, I think. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Amdi, for that advice. Rachel, do you want to say something?
So everything she said was, I agree with all of it. And it's a thing where I think it comes out every month, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're just paying it back monthly. And well, for me, I think mine is the 30 years, but I think the year above me was 40, so from now it's 40 years. And most people don't even finish paying it all back, because after the 30 or 40 years, it automatically cancels. So it's not a thing where like you're gonna have to pay everything back. Like, I mean, some people do pay it all back. I mean, it depends on your income, but some people never actually finish paying it all back. So it's not something to really be worried about or like influence your decision on whether you want to go to university or not. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all your contribution on this topic. Transitioning into the university. I think we've heard it also. Students that will come across this video, I've encouraged you can hear from all our university students. I mean, my guests, you've heard from them all, everything they've been saying, how to manage your time, what to do, and go for what you are interested, what you are confident in doing. Don't do what you think your friends are doing. Your friend might be studying physics and you know that you're not too good at physics, so do what you're good at. And when you're choosing your course, please choose wisely. Choose and be broad with your choice, so that when you enter into the university, it will be easier for you to maneuver or change over if you have to change your course, or maybe when the results comes out, it will be more easier for you to change your course if you want to, because you might get to university and change your mind. We had my guest Rachel. She was meant to study something else and later she went to study pharmacy. So that's another thing. And sometimes as well, when you are studying, when you're going to university, have it at the back of your mind that, time management is very important. And parents as well, please, I implore you, encourage you, don't push your children to do what they're not interested in doing. Let them focus on what they want to do. Let them do what they feel that is convenient, comfortable for them to do. Don't impose courses on them. Yes, I know parents, you are there to guide your children, to teach them, to direct them in the way they should go. But allow them to do what benefit them, what they enjoy, and what is going to impact their life in future. Because at the end of the day, when they go to uni, you're not going to be there with them. When they're struggling with that subject, you are imposing on them. We can hear from all my guests. They've all said it all. They nailed it on the head. They nailed it well. So please allow your children to study what they desire. Don't impose on them. Our responsibility is to guide them. If they say this is what course they want to do, allow them to do it. Just your responsibility is just to pray for them and encourage them. And for those that are thinking of going through apprenticeship, go for it. Don't say because a friend went through apprenticeship, they were struggling. Your story might not be the same. And for you that are really scared about the loans, the government's, the student loan is about discipline. You need to discipline to know how to spend. When you know how to discipline, you can hear from my guest, Aramide, how she managed her finance, and even Rachel, they manage their finances well. And my Ayomide guest as well, they manage their finances well. So it's about management, and don't spend excessively. Any other thing anyone want to say?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. This has been a great discussion, and I really hope that all the prospective university students or apprenticeship students or gap year students really take the insight. And it's been great to speak to you, Rachel and Ayomide. And thank you, Auntie, for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Actually, I'm really happy for we had this discussion. Yeah, thank you, everyone. All right, there. We call it a day now. Bye for now. God bless you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.